Conor James was barely a measure into his performance of Aretha Franklin's I Say a Little Prayer during his blind audition on season 27 of The Voice when coach Adam Levine pressed the button to turn his chair around. By the end of the song, everyone else had too, earning James the rare 4-chair turn. Conor James sings Aretha Franklin's I Say a Little Prayer for The Voice season 27 blind audition. Shortly after Levine turned around, coaches John Legend and Michael Bublé joined him, with coach Kelsey Ballerini just behind, trying and failing to block a fellow coach. After he finished his seemingly effortless rendition, James was showered with compliments. "You are so cool," said Legend, who asked about James' interests. "The young singer is into musical theater, writes and produces, and plays keys like you, sir," he told Legend, who noted that he was composing for Broadway in his spare time. "Shameless," quipped Levine. "You can tell when someone feels it," said Ballerini of James' obvious connection to the song, adding, "I never want to lose that in myself." Calling him a unicorn, his go-to animal, as seen on his team sweaters, Levine told James he had a spirit and limitless potential. "You can win this show and I want you bad on my team." It worked, and James joined Team Adam. In the moment when Conor James walked out onto the stage for his blind audition for The Voice season 27, he was entering a moment that would alter the course of his professional life. The Nashville native, who was 28 years old at the time, had been perfecting his talent for years, merging his silky vocal tones with a mixture of pop, soul, and classic influences. The fact that his rendition of I Say a Little Prayer would win over the hearts of both the coaches and the audience, making it one of the most memorable auditions of the season, was something that he could not have anticipated, despite the fact that he had prepared himself thoroughly. As soon as the first notes of the classic hit by Burt Bacharach and Hal David flooded the air, Conor's voice stood out like a beacon. When he reached the first verse of the song, his tone was smooth and warm, and he began with a rendition of the legendary song that was sensitive and emotive. His rendition of I Say a Little Prayer was not only innovative but also respectful of the song's original intent, and it featured the ideal amount of soulful interpretation. The song was given a fresh lease of life while retaining its core, and it was immediately apparent that he was not merely singing the song, rather he was delivering the story from the very first few bars. His command of the voice was flawless, and there was a softness in his tone that brought a profound sense of connection to anyone who listened to him. His phrasing was distinctive, and each syllable was encased in a subtle tremolo that blended in perfectly with the melody. "I say a little prayer for you," Conor crooned. However, despite the fact that it was still early in the song, there was something magnetic about his delivery. The energy in the room was continuing to rise. It was obvious that he was doing more than just playing. He was connecting with the music, the lyrics, and the audience in a way that managed to seem both vulnerable and powerful at the same time. The events that transpired after that were nothing short of spectacular. As soon as Conor reached the second verse, there was a change in the performance. He allowed the upbeat rhythm of the song to fill his voice with an intensity that immediately spread across the audience. Not only did the pace quicken, but so did Conor's level of passion. He was able to smoothly transition between a gentle and seductive wording and a brighter and more buoyant delivery using his voice. By the time the chorus began, Conor had already established himself as the leader of the stage. He had the entire room swaying with him. Every single note had a sense of purpose, and every single feeling that he expressed was delivered with an unquestionable force. The brilliance of the performance, on the other hand, was not only in Conor's vocal abilities, but also in his presence on stage. Because of the effortless and self-assured manner in which he moved, the audience was drawn into the experience. One had the impression that he was having a personal conversation with the music itself, rather than simply singing to the coaches or the audience. Conor's voice became even more powerful as the refrain of the song, which was "I Say a Little Prayer for You," surged higher and higher, and its fullness filled the entire room completely. I could feel the energy that was present in the room, and after that it took place. While Conor was building up to the closing section of the song, Michael Bublé, the first coach, turned his chair around. Hearing a voice that was so naturally powerful caused his cheeks to light up with genuine ecstasy. Bubbly muttered under his breath. "This is incredible," indicating that he was definitely impressed by Conor's ability to combine traditional flair with contemporary sophistication. John Legend, Kelsey Ballerini, and Adam Levine all followed suit and punched their buttons almost simultaneously, which caused the subsequent few moments to feel like a whirlwind. A round of applause broke out in the room, and the coaches were quick to acknowledge the outstanding performance that Conor had delivered. Despite the fact that the chairs were all turned to face him, Conor stood there with a bashful smile on his face. The atmosphere was charged with frenzy. Four of the most renowned and brilliant musicians in the music industry, each with their own distinctive musical background, had all turned their attention to him. At the same time as it was a moment of triumph, it was also a moment of anticipatory curiosity. Which of the coaches would he go with? It was John Legend who was the first to speak, and his voice was filled with admiration. "The voice that you have, Conor, is absolutely fantastic. You didn't simply sing the song, you owned it. That was one of the things that I was most impressed by about your performance. The way you phrase things, the way you allow each word to breathe, is really stunning. Because you have the kind of voice that is going to resonate with a great number of people, I would be thrilled to have the opportunity to assist you in taking it to even greater heights." Following that, Kelsey Ballerini, who was thrilled to have another talented artist join her team, offered her thoughts. "What a fantastic performance, Conor. Your voice possesses a great deal of diversity. It possesses a certain sweetness, but it also possesses a certain warmth and strength. With your sound, I believe we might accomplish a great deal. I would be delighted to assist you in achieving the ideal equilibrium between the pop and soul influences that you have. You are in possession of something truly remarkable, and I am already picturing the avenues that we could pursue with your artistic abilities." The wit and charisma that are hallmarks of Adam Levine made it impossible for him to conceal his excitement. "Listen, fella, you got it down pat. I adore the way in which you added your own unique spin to the song, as well as the swagger that you gave to it. I don't believe any of the other artists in the competition have the same feel that you do, and I believe that there is a good chance that we might have a lot of fun together. It would be a pleasure to collaborate with you and assist you in developing something unique for your sound." Last but not least, Michael Bublé, whose smooth jazz and vintage influences have made him one of the most revered figures in the music industry, contributed his comments. "I am blown away by the tremendous quality of your voice, Conor. You have a lot of potential for both modern and vintage sounds, and it is soulful, smooth, and full of passion. I could hear a lot of potential in you. I have been in your shoes, attempting to find a balance between contemporary and classic, and I believe that I could assist you in bringing out the finest in both of these realms." Conor was rendered speechless for a little period of time as he took in the overwhelming appreciation. While he was evaluating his choices, the crowd held their breath as he looked at each candidate for the position. He was aware that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and the fact that four of the most powerful personalities in the music industry were all ready to collaborate with him meant that making a selection in this situation was going to be difficult. After that, however, he made his decision while smiling in a way that expressed both excitement and conviction. An expression of thankfulness and resolve could be heard in Conor's voice as he announced, "I'm going to go with John Legend. I have the distinct impression that you are able to recognize the depth of feeling that is present in my voice, and I am thrilled about the prospect of collaborating with you." The audience erupted in applause as John Legend's face lit up with a genuine smile, and the audience followed suit. As he extended his hand to Conor, he continued, "You won't later regret this decision. I am so excited to find out where we can go together," she said. As soon as Conor joined John Legend's staff, there was an evident feeling of excitement that permeated the atmosphere. It was clear that his rendition of "I Say a Little Prayer" had won over the hearts of the coaches as well as the audience members, and the path that lay ahead for him was replete with unbounded possibilities. For Conor James, his four-chair turn was more than just a victory on The Voice. It was the beginning of a new chapter in his musical career. This new chapter would see him develop, explore, and discover his true voice with the direction of one of the most talented individuals in the industry. And for the remainder of Season 27, Conor was well positioned to leave his mark in a manner that would leave everyone watching enthralled, motivated, and excitedly anticipating what was to come. The Voice returning coach Adam Levine is in it to win it. Back on the show after a long hiatus, veteran coach Adam Levine sees himself ending up as the winning artist. After winning the four-way face-off, he said of Ballerini, Bublé, and Legend, "They're great. There's definitely a second, third, and fourth place in their future." Cold. The only way to sum it up is that just energetically, the opportunity came at the right moment and I was really ready. And we started talking about it, and one thing led to another, and here I am. It was that simple, Levine told NBC Insider of his decision to return. It didn't involve too much deliberation or overthinking. I kind of just felt ready. I was really happy to come back and experience it again with these three wonderful people. It was time, he said simply after Bublé quipped, "America needed Adam."